Hello everybody, it's Diane and I'm going to be working on some journal cards and embellishments for the lace and embroidery journals that I'm making, the fabric journals. Um, I think in the last video I just was stamping on muslin and other types of fabric, so I got a lot stamped. I did a lot on the video and then I tore them all apart, so they're ready. And then yesterday, while I was watching TV last night, I took some of the pieces that I had stamped and started putting them together into some clusters. So this one, I just added really, really pretty vintage lace to the top, crochet trim. I guess it's tatted. And then some of them have fabric added and some other added things. This one says handmade is best, and it has one of the little vintage appliques that I have. So I won't show them all to you, but this one has little tiny blue butterfly appliques that are vintage. Just to give you an idea, this one says vintage style. It's one of my doilies. And this one is a scrap of an embroidered piece that I had cut up. It says handmade is best again. So there's one of our ladies. Oops. There. So you can see I got quite a few of them made. I love this one. I think this was the first one I put together, and I used 3 little red flower appliques in a strip. I think that one turned out nice. All right, so now I didn't prep any substrates or bases for what I want to do. So I'm just going to grab some index cards. I'm not copy dyeing paper for these journals, so I'm not going to use copy dyed cards, but I have a variety here of cards that I just grabbed. There's a copy dyed one. So what I would like to do is, these are cards that came out of a kind of a cookbook. It's a gift book. It was recipes that you could use in a gift jar. So you would put the ingredients that they list for this, the dry ingredients, you would layer them in a jar, and then you would decorate the jar pretty and put this tag with it, and then it would give the recipient the other ingredients they needed to add and the recipe and how to make it, but it has a blank side on the back. So I would like to take some of these and cover up that part so that there's this part that can be journaled on. Tip this down a little. Okay, I think that'll work better. I'm going to take that lady there, those ladies. I also took one of the Work Basket magazines that Deborah just sent me in my Happy Mail that came last week, and I cut out, look at all of these advertisements and little project ideas came from one magazine, and she sent me at least 3 of them. I think I like that. How's everybody doing? Yesterday, the governor of Pennsylvania announced that the entire state is mandated to stay home except for the necessities, like if you have one of the jobs that you can still go to work for, you can do that. Getting your groceries or going to the doctors or getting medicine. Going outside for some exercise, as long as you maintain social distance, like going for walks or bike rides, things like that. I guess I want to do straight stitch on this. One of my friends texted me today. She's actually my pastor's wife, and they have a young family. And she said that they would like to go for a walk with me, if we, a socially distant walk. I don't know when we're going to do that, but that would be nice. I have someone to go for a walk with. Do I want a tab or something on this? I think I should. Let's take one of these little pieces of a vintage sheet. That one didn't end up with very much color on it. I watched a video by Diane Shaw the other night from my old barn door. Sorry, I'm bumping the camera. And her video was about using up a 6x6 pad, and I have several 6x6 pads that I never use because I never think to. So I was inspired by her video. She was simply making tags. Just cutting up a 6x6 paper and making tags out of it. So that was, I think, the night before last. So again, while I was watching TV, watching a movie, I had a tray on my lap and I was making tags. Let me show you some. I also had 8.5 by 11, I think, or 8 by 10 maybe, pad of Jane Davenport paper, and I took some of those papers, and that's one of those. And this is, I left it long, but I can cut it to whatever length I want when I'm going to use it. So, and an 8 by 8 pad, but the rest of them were made. The rest of these are made by 6x6. Made with 6x6 papers. So So I'm going to look through and see which ones might go well with these journals. These two would be good. Some of them are bright and cheery. They'll be really fun to use. Look at this one. Now these are old Bo Bunny papers. These would be great in these journals that I'm making right now. These would be nice. Well, maybe not with the red on the back. This one is Anna Griffin, and I think somebody sent me a few Anna Griffin 6x6 papers, and I love them. They are fantabulous. So they would be good. Got quite a few here that would be good in these journals. I don't know, maybe, no, you're a little too grungy, I guess. I have enough that I don't need to use those. I guess that's enough. I made them in different sizes. Better put some of these little ones over there. And then some these were thinner papers, so I just folded them. And I'm going to punch round the corners. I did it on some. Where are the ones I round? Where are the ones here? I rounded those. So these will just be tucked in a pocket for writing space. So I got some of my 6x6 papers out and actually prepped them to put them to use. So I can do something with some of these too. But I digress. Let's do some more of these. Let's focus on one thing at a time, Diane. That one's pretty with the flower basket. And let's find another one while we're at it. Okay. Let's turn them over so we cover the right side. I could have the muslin hanging off if I wanted to. This is, it says Style Vintage, and it's what I stamped onto a pretty little vintage collar. Like that. Let's start by sewing this piece to the top. It is sheer, so you can see that there's typing underneath, but that doesn't bother me at all. Just adds to the layered look. Actually, I don't want to have sewing all over, so I'm gonna glue this. If I can find my glue. Here it is. I didn't really want to cover up that collar slope. Maybe we should try a different. This says Mode au Elegant. Elegant style. Just gotta come down. Yeah, that'll work. So I think I'll put her on first. I'll probably sew around the perimeter of the card once the glue is dry, just for looks. Just got glue all over my hands. I should probably bring my floor lamp over here. Maybe you could see better if I did. Lamp is on an extension cord. I just move it to whatever station I'm working at. I think that helped a little bit, didn't it? I will be glad to get my lights hung on my ceiling so I can get that floor lamp out of here. It's just a small space and that lamp is one more thing that's in the way. I will trim that lace off and then sew around the edge. And I think I need to add something. Like maybe a button. That's pretty, but I don't think that would work because of the shank. Oh, that's pretty. On this one I could cut, I could cut the shank off and then just glue it down. Just adds a nice element. And I love the, just the various colors of cream. I'm not gonna, oh, did I bump the camera? I'm not gonna glue this down until after I sew around it, around the tag. the right way. Gonna get as much of that shank off as I can. Ouch, don't get your finger. I think that'll work. I hope. The rim of it is not flat, so I don't know if there's enough surface for me to glue down, but I will try. So that makes a pretty journaling card. I don't know if I need to add a tab to that or not because of this, but if I do, I will add it on when I sew around the perimeter. Closeout bargain on factory guaranteed all steel pinking shears. Some very thin lace. That would work. Now this one would have sewing around it and then one line down the center like I did on this one. And I think that'll be fine. This one would have had more sewing on it. So start by sewing this piece on. Actually, I missed the edge of the muslin for some of that, so I'm going to go back down. it backwards. Let's get another piece of this old sheet. So I listed my Golden Book journals today. And then I think that because of this new mandate in Pennsylvania, that I will keep creating, but I won't be listing anything until the restrictions are lifted. I don't have to keep going to the post office. I have enough stamps to put on bills that I have to pay, so I can just drop them off in a mailbox. But I will keep creating, and then when the restrictions are lifted, I'll have a whole bunch of stuff to put in the store. All right, so we have 3 of these, and I really like the way they turned out. Oops. I think this one should have a tab on it. Let's do something else. Let's try one of these. Do something with one of these. Here's my little bucket of tiny lace pieces. Oh, look what I found in the work basket. Strawberries. That's going to go with my collection of things to make a strawberry journal. I'm looking through these ads to see if there's just a little one that I can put there. Order nylons wholesale. I brought in some of this Ada cloth that I got in a batch of stuff at a flea market. Let's try just a little piece of this pink Ada cloth. Instead of punching a hole in this tag, I think I'll just sew a piece of muslin to the top. I didn't do much of anything yesterday. I had one of those headaches that makes my eyes hurt. So I didn't do a whole lot. When I started feeling better, I did some organizing of stuff and did a little bit of crafting, but not much. I didn't do anything on the face masks that I'm making. So I better make a few of those today. Okay. Oh, I need to cover that up. Vintage style. I'm just going to sew around this and then glue it down. Okay, these I'll just glue down. I think I have the tripod sitting a little too close to me. Love this old lace, so pretty. This is a vintage applique. Got a whole bunch of them at a yard sale. Oop, get back there. That was fun. Let's do another one. Let's do one of these and one of these. This one I won't do too much to because I just love that great big flower. All right, I have some embroidery transfers, vintage embroidery transfers. Maybe one of these would look pretty on this tag. I might trim some more stuff off of this, but we're gonna lay it down on the tag and see what we think. I think we're just gonna just have the rose, not all this extra stuff. I'll just cut this off so I have it for another one. Got this little mesh fabric here. I think I should have a bigger piece of this, I hope. I love this. It's vintage. Let's see if I can pick this. Oh, there's two seams here. Maybe I don't want to pick the seam out. Let's put a little piece of fabric here. Love that one. It's got little dotted Swiss on it. I want the pink to show. That's better. Not sure if I'm gotta take this jacket off. I'm not sure I'm liking the blockiness of these two pieces together. Let's try some cheesecloth, but not the coffee dyed stuff. See if I have some that's not coffee dyed. I know I have it, but I don't know if I have it handy. see it in here. I've got to spend time organizing in here. I don't have my shelves yet, and I just can't make sense of anything, so I've got to do something. I don't know how long it's going to be before I can get my shelves put up in here. So I've got to do something so that I can find what I want. Maybe I'll just take a piece of lace. I'm thinking maybe this rose would be better because it's facing the other way, and because of the pretty, the sun is glaring on that, isn't it? Maybe it is better with the light off, but there's pretty design on this side. I might want the rose more over here. So, I'm sorry, I am going to cut out another rose. I didn't tell you about what one of a couple in my church did. I've known them my whole life because I've been a member of this church. Well, I was attending the church when I was a baby and became a member when I was old enough. Well, that doesn't really, it's just not the same. It still has the same projection. They all are kind of that way. So, I don't know. Anyway, this couple are about my parents' age, and they called me and said that they were calling people from the church and starting with the people that lived alone. And they were just, Linda was going to read scripture, a psalm, and then Claire was going to sing and then pray with me. I just can't make up my mind about this. And I was so touched by that they were doing this. They're in their 80s, you know, and they still are looking for ways that they can minister to people. So Linda read a psalm to me, and then I could hear her playing the piano while Claire sang an encouraging song, and then he just prayed, and then they wished me a good day and went on to the next phone call. I just thought that was a really nice thing to do. I don't like anything I'm doing with this tag. Don't like it at all. So we're going to do something else. I thought they were good ideas I was having for that tag, but it wasn't working. Hopefully I can use those embroidery transfers for something, because I do like them. Maybe just that all by itself. Oh, I think my glue top is glued to the bottle. Now, to dress this up a little, I think I will sew a button there. I'm gonna look for my pink buttons. I don't think I have any vintage pink buttons. Oh wait, here's one. I have to get right down in there to get it. They don't have to be vintage, but I like the vintage look. This one might be vintage right here. Yeah, I like that. And to dress it up a little bit more, where's my lace? Here it is. I'm just going to put a tiny, tiny piece of lace there. I don't know what's going on. I keep hearing thumps. I wonder if the wind, it's windy out. I wonder what the wind is blowing. I'm going to have to get off, turn this camera off pretty soon and go see what's going on. So I won't sew this right now, but that's what I'm going to do. I'll have that little fabric tab and the lace and the button. That'll be a pretty little tag. Let's do one more before I go. I'll have 3 of the cards and then I'll have 3 of the tags. This one I said I'm not going to do much. So I think I will sew some lace down the side. And then I will punch a hole in this one and add some seam binding to it. My dryer buzzed anyway, so I have to fold my clothes. I am one of those people who does the laundry. I mean, when I do the laundry, I fold the clothes as soon as they're dry, and then once I have all the laundry washed, dried, and folded, I put it all away. I don't let it sit in baskets. I can't stand that. Oh, pushed it right out of the way. hole punch, my reinforcements. And my pink seam binding. I don't know, I'm using a lot of, well, these are for 3 different journals. I was going to say I'm using a lot of pink, but the cover of this journal has a lot of blue in it, the journal I'm working on, but I'm actually going to be doing 3 journals, so at least one of them has a lot of pink on the cover. Oh, I got another printed part to cover up too. The Anna Griffin paper had writing on the back at the bottom. Some of those advertisements from the Work Basket magazine are just going to be cut and glued onto some cardstock and used as journaling cards, just like that, simply. I'll put vintage style on this one too. Thread sticking to me where my fingers are sticky from glue. Okay, that's going to be the video for today. I hope that you enjoyed seeing me make the cards and tags for these journals. And like I said, some of these ads that I cut out are just going to be adhered to cardstock, and they will make nice little tags and journaling cards. So we've got a good start on ephemera pieces for these journals, plus the clusters. The clusters are just pinned. I didn't sew them because they're just pinned right now. Look at this one with the shoe. Love that shoe stamp. And I only stamped it once on the fabric. Alright, so here's a recap. There's that tag. Pretty simple, but lovely. And then this one, which I will put together. And this one. I have found several of those books. They're bound with a comb binding, the plastic comb binding, I think. And there's one had soups, one had maybe quick breads, and one was cookies or brownies or something, recipes on the back. But I just, like I said, I just cut out the recipes, the recipe cards, and just use these. So I found several of them at my thrift store, so keep your eyes open for them, and maybe they're ring bound like the metal. But anyway, keep your eyes open for them because they have really cool decorative cards in there. All right, thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.